dismissal enough to deter similar incidents and police officers who were actually dismissed for misconduct? But then we still have other people the same thing. I mean, like even in the case of this young man that was dismissed.
Well, like us, we all know human system decadence in different ways. Decadence is always the characteristics of humans. As much as you hold the big stick fully or constantly, that will not be the possibility of similar situations coming up. So in some other times and in some other place, it is part of humanity. Like even the civil organizations, medical organizations or whatever, you stand in front of them. After making a sufficient punishment, certain situations, elements are likely to emerge as part of human dynamism. But the most important thing is that the leadership remember the pursuit of human. The long run reduce the frequency of such occurrence. Now, in the long run, it may not completely eradicate such incidents, but reduce it to the severe minimum. And that is the way to go. And that's what is being done now. I should come with leadership in command, particularly in the state that we have been up and doing in this respect.
But then let's talk about, something, how to even address this whole misconduct within the force. I mean, the story I read is just one out of three. Are there other kind of reforms or training programs that are being implemented in the force to address issues like this?
As I said, yes. Training is work in progress. Training too is work in progress. But I want to assure you, if a human being mind made up to become a felon, no matter the level of training is, that particular human being will still constant.
Okay.
About this time last year, when I was commissioner of police in Edo State, a serving medical doctor who was in charge of Government General Hospital in the local government of Quarantine, go all the way to Benin City. The same medical doctor caused medical havoc in the patient, robbed the patient, the patient died in hand, and drove that patient's car from Benin City along Benin Road. He threw away the body and left with the car. He robbed him of his car. That was what he came to do, robbery. And at the end of the two forensic investigation, the person. So you can see it, an individual whose level of training, enlightenment, and professionalism is to be a qualified medical doctor, and who was even suffering from economic ability, so to speak, because he was in charge of a general student in the local government, could abandon his duty post, abandon his schedule, to come all the way to our state and 5 states across the boundary, to come and commit robbery and murder. And he speaks volume of the complexity of the animal called man. So persons like that exist everywhere. But in the police, we are always taking more dispassionate action to continue to weed them out and continue to train them and continue to fine-tune our internal mechanisms that to help in deterrence. So we are not resting on our oars, and you can be rest assured that the creation of the system will continue to improve and reduce these incidents.
All right, so I want you to help us understand what just on the profit orderly room trials, and of course how it's complete to take accountability.
Internal managers. There's a kind of a quasi-additive court, and they are not really a matter of public consumption, so to speak.
Okay.
The elements involved are very similar to the law of civil proceeding in court trials, which require charges being read, which requires the executing officer, which is the judge advocate, asking the felon or the accused whether he is on the charge. It requires the person charged to consent and calling witnesses and all kinds of protocols known to be sharp proceeding are the inherent ingredients of that has been police tradition for years. And it was a tradition coming from the British police system, from which our own police organization was founded. And so it has provided the opportunity to defendants or the case to prove their evidence or otherwise, and at the end of the day, found guilty. If the offenses are of aggravated quality, you will be moved further to criminal prosecution in the court. prosecuted, your name is just a precursor.
Okay.
And in the respect of the case point, you can rest assured that the trials are conducted, and all this of one to our mediation, secondly, they are in due course. Just be on the line to always find out the outcome of the later coming series of events that follows. If we are right at this next year, ask the police command what people have gone to court on, they will tell you what they are able to do.
So I've heard people say that, especially when we read news like this, news stories like this, that a police officer has been dismissed for misconduct and all of that. I've heard some people say, it's not true, don't mind them. Tomorrow you see him wearing his uniform and doing work elsewhere. So it's possible that a police officer who was actually found guilty of misconduct and dismissed would be brought back into the force.
It's not possible in some circumstances which I will explain.
Okay.
There are some police officers that have been dismissed, and after their dismissal, certain facts will reveal itself. It's just like in a normal judicial proceedings. There are some cases whereby criminal inquiry and criminal trial will conclude that the person is guilty, the person will be in prison. After serving for some years, new facts may emerge to mitigate the sentence, and they will always be reproduced back to the society. Instances like that are abound. For example, a policeman loses firearms through substances that he explained to be accidental, and at the spur of the moment, they try him in an honor room, dismiss him, and maybe charge him. After a while, about a month or two, the rifle was covered, and it was confirmed that it was not negligently lost. It was lost accidentally or peradventure by kind of force majeure. Under that circumstances, that police officer is entitled to put in application for a review of his case. A review of cases has judicial precedent and is acceptable and known even in civil or criminal trials. Convicted persons even ask for review if at all some essential facts that ought to have been brought to the knowledge of the administration officer or the trial judge were not available at the time of trial. If these facts become manifestly clear and established, of course, the citizens can be reviewed and the outcome can change. But these are real or exceptional circumstances.
So you think those people who claim to have seen police officers who were dismissed, they're just talking. They don't know what they're saying.
Exactly. That is why this kind of forum, this kind of discussion, or this kind of outlet is essential to help us educate the public, to make our people to be aware on how this thing works, so that we don't continue to delude ourselves with passions and imaginations that are helpful. It is not in the interest of society for people who are bad behaving cops to be retained in the system. And as soon as we check them out, except there are some exceptional circumstances of misgiving facts, we don't bring them back. And people who say otherwise are saying it from the short-sightedness, for the limitation of their knowledge about how the system works. And I hope through this kind of platform of our conversation, their understanding of how the system works will become better, and we appreciate how the system works better.
All right. Now, for this particular case, apart from the kind of money involved, because some people believe that it gets to this point where the officer gets dismissed because of the caliber of person that was involved. Are there what are the steps, right? A civilian who has been...
It's not caliber. I must admit one thing.
Okay, go on.
Like an ordinary citizen, even if you are a victim of crime and you did not report your case, certainly the justice expected to be delivered to you will never come your way. It's not caliber. Many Nigerians, even when they become victim of crime, not even crime, not even police, criminality or physical fracture, don't care to report, they don't care to follow up, and as such, will certainly the system of the law will not provide you justice that you ask for. Certainly, if you are a victim of crime or fraction, report your case, and follow up actions will be taken. Necessary action will be taken. Due process will be apply. But if you refuse to report it, you refuse to follow it up, certainly the necessary protocol request to bring justice will avail you. So we Nigerians understand that. Just like I know in your house now, somebody come with a knife and wound you in your house, you refuse to report at the police station, you refuse to seek justice through the system known for law, you stay around, then after some time, you begin to believe that you are a victim of crime and nothing was done. Certainly we should let report cases, we should report out when we are victims. And as a result, certainly the authorities respond.
So how about the part where some people are afraid to actually report policemen, especially because they do not they're not sure if the matter would be taken up as quickly as possible?
Yes, what has happened now, the recent case assuages that feeling. Whoever was in a doubting mood before, arising from the recent incidents talking about, this is a kind of a confidence building template now. What to see that somebody who reported was taken up. So that fear is this incident and the process ongoing now eliminate that fear. So fear no more.
Okay, so here's another question I would like to ask, because I heard a couple some young men complaining about some police officers more like harassing them, taking their vehicle to the station, and they were afraid of actually going to the station to go and ask for their vehicle. Now fear was we are all young men, and what if we get there and they decide to charge us with something else that we don't even know about? Who will help us?
I would rather classify those kind of situations as people with tainted character. In law, there's what called tainted evidence. I can't imagine how a bona fide Nigerian, a property owner, that your property was moved to the police station, you were directed to come and bring up follow-up documentation to prove ownership, and arising from that normal, logical, and official action, you withdraw. It means that you are a tainted citizen.
Okay, Mr. Yaro, we'll have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue, please.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. Do stay tuned.
So that's how we go to the restaurant too, and it was
Are you okay?
Sore throat is caused by bacteria and viruses. It feels like you're having a party in your throat. You need Strepsils. Butane plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Do like bacterial action in one lozenge.
as I was saying, it was amazing.
Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult a doctor.
Faculty of Natural and Applied Sciences, Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt, holds the 5th annual conference with the theme Building Sustainable Science.
Welcome back to Hard Facts. We're still discussing the Rivers State Police Command dismissing a police inspector, Michael Ode, for who he was actually accused of extorting about 3,000 USDT cryptocurrency from a young man in the state with 2 other officers. Well, he has been dismissed. Well, the 2 others have been recommended for dismissal due to their rank. Their names have been forwarded to the Inspector General of Police for that one. And so I'm asking you to tell me, Do you think dismissal is enough, or do you think more can actually be done to curtail misconduct among police officers? All right, well, back to you now, Mr. Yaro. So, you were saying something before now when I asked the question about young men who are afraid of going to the police station. Now, the thing is, this is actually the reality on ground for lots of young people, especially men in our country today. They would tell you that, what if I get there? I'm a young man. They might call me a Yahoo boy. They might say I'm a kidnapper. What if they put another charge, what I have never done, on my head? I don't have anybody. I don't have money.
Well, there's a common term that says a clear conscience, fierce motivation. You must be able to have confidence in yourself if you know you are operating from a transparent platform in your human endeavor. Within the police, of course, police has a duty to suspect anybody. And as a citizen, you have a duty to prove the transparency of your personality. Reasonable suspicion is a requirement for policing. So if the police believes that it suspects your ownership of property, of course, it is legitimate affection. It behoves on you to explain to law enforcement officers who you are and how to combat what you are holding. And what I'm telling you, universal dictum, listen, it's not only Nigerian cliche or River State situation per se. Police number before. They now they call you to x-ray you. But no, you are supposed to live in time with the requirement of law. You're not supposed to live above your lawful means of livelihood. So, except so, if a young man and they want to live with your lawful means of livelihood. Otherwise, to become subject of police inquiry, police x-ray, police has to do to x-ray. They don't have it. So, persons who are having a house, they should do soul searching themselves. What do you for a living? You are talking to me now as a broker, as a journalist. If you have police not the one, excuse me, madam, I know who you are. Who you are, broker journalist. In my car, and this is not working place. It's legitimate. It's a police people profiling in part of police ethics. We have training for it, and it's a legally permissible engagement. So persons with that kind of mind to talk about, and they need to work on themselves and define who they are properly. If not, certainly it will be difficult for somebody to help them.
All right, I have a message here from someone. His name is Dave. He says dismissal is not in any way enough. Should be incarcerated for a period of time to deter other officers from committing the same crime. Some police officers are even tired of the job. Missing them alone would be like a way out for them. He also says an officer who was dismissed from Lagos State for misconduct went to my village with his uniform and for good 6 months was posing as a legitimate officer, collecting bribe from my people, settling domestic quarrels and extorting money. If he were not only dismissed but also sentenced, my people would have escaped his wrath.
Thank you. I agree that when policemen are dismissed, there are some kind of infractions that the punishment goes beyond the dismissal. That they are always take a court. As we speak, if you go to Central Prison, you see policemen are always convicted for some crimes 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they're there. But these are issues that people may not know. And as a on dismissal, they may not be taken to court. So the gravity of the offense does not necessarily require arraignment and prosecution. That is just take note of that. It's not for every dismissal that incarceration follows. The typology of the offense defines the next step. Just like it's not for every stealing, not for every criminal offense that somebody stays long term in prison. There are some offenses that somebody can even be fined, somebody can be cautioned and be charged, and somebody can be in prison for a week or 2 and on and on. Then coming to the policeman from one of our listener village, who after dismissal from Lagos came to the village and became the Lord himself. These are some of the unfortunate circumstances of our existence. Why is this so? We are really third world people, whereby most of us, our village and settlements, we don't even have proper record of who comes and who goes. So sometimes we dismiss policeman or even the serviceman of any other agency. After dismiss, we come to the village, and the villagers' perception of their person is that they are still in service. But it's imperative that at all times, if in your village, a policeman or any service personnel comes around from where he is working and begin to take actions there and there in a way that is showing illegality or conduct, you report to the nearest police. And then your village, the local government and the other police or the district headquarters, and be able to contact the nearest police, draw a sufficient police who can make the second time. It's possible to have position in every village. Those villages that before you get the nearest police, you may need to go like 4 kilometers, 3 kilometers. If you notice the street is changing the way they last police are you, they should report to the nearest police regardless of the distance, so that the executive fugitive officer or any other person who comes to actually comment the leaders will be checked. If we don't want, it will be difficult to get such excesses or such illegality. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, another one here says, by my own calculation, dismissal alone is not enough for that police officer that kidnapped and stole money from an innocent Nigerian. He needs to be jailed. Fidelis Elmowa from Kotrich.
Yes, that's going.
All right.
As I said earlier before now, the dismissal is the first place going. It was true that some of the senior officers among them, their case is being attended to by this general police office in Abuja. At the end of the day, the cumulative sequence of handling this thing requires that all of them found guilty. They will move at the same time on the same criminal crime to court at the appropriate time. So their dismissal in the first phase, the other necessary to be complete in respect of the other persons who are parties to the crime. So rest assured that the process is completed in the way that is the law accommodates, and you'll be briefed in due course.
All right, so I just want to ask about something that happens if it's not even happening right now. The issue of policemen collecting money from drivers on the road. I'm pretty sure that on
I would
that.
have wanted to say that the issue of drivers giving money to police on the road. We have it.
So it's the drivers giving the money, not the policemen collecting the money.
Sure. Yes. Yes, the frown, they give much and the receiver.
Please tell us it.
What you have described, all of us used to witness it. You can't challenge to the highway now. Even before the vehicle to come to the flagging point, the drivers offer hands were out of the wheel.
Yes, they're
only 4. But as they are going to Aba, you carry 6. So the one which you see offering money, that the police traffic officer or the enforcement officer will not follow at his excesses. This is collective iniquities of both the givers and the taker. We as a society, as a country state, we must rise up to it. The moment we begin to load our regularly, we will comport ourselves. Certainly, those processes is not a generic phenomenon. It's a set phenomenon. Observe further. When the next interactive, if you observe the what I'm talking about, you confirm what I'm saying. So drivers should stop giving money to this person. And they should compose, organize the vehicle in ways and manners in tandem with what the RTA says, that the traffic law says, road traffic act says. Most of the things that happen on our road is a complete contradiction of the road traffic act, and that provides leeway for all these professional conduct, external engagement activities that has become the at the end. We need to stop it.
Okay, so basically you're saying it's a societal problem. Both the person who's giving is doing something illegal, and then the person who's collecting is doing something illegal.
Sure. It's illegal. It's illegal.
Interesting. Another person here. Well, before I read more messages, you can actually join the conversations by calling the numbers to call as 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0002, or 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007. I'm taking messages via WhatsApp on 0809-030-6416. So Melody from Uniport says, is it not a bigger risk to dismiss and send to live among innocent civilians. A police officer who has been trained to handle rifle and who is found guilty of criminal acts, if he can indulge in criminality while in the force where he is being monitored, what then would happen when he turns his criminality on the people?
Yes, the point made by that listener is well noted, but I want to remind all of us one thing. The existence of the police is police that follow the law. The procedure therefore in dismissing them is an execution of the legal law that defines all the steps. Whereas individual police entities interpreting this or executing this may even have a different perspective, similar to the perspective of the listener in this comment. But the law, as of now, provides for this, and the law is a police act. You see, inside the police act, there is written how a police will be arrested when he commits offense, how he will be tried in the room, and how he will be dismissed. So here this perception of this opinion is very, very as it is, effort made for us to put in our best to help to amend the act. Police they do not amend the author of the Constitution of Nigeria. Therefore, to our representatives in that assembly, to make this point known there, that certain provision exists in the police act that makes offending policemen to be dismissed and to be left to roam again in the society. We have observed the merits of this provision, and it is imperative for the National Assembly to amend it. Once it amended and not incorporated as part of the added version of the Police Act, certainly the implementation will be similar in the way and manner that our listeners have.
All right.
But implemented. So it's put on legal procedural in the form of the law that exists, which of course is not sacrosanct, can be amended.
Okay.
And when that is done, certainly. Better off the way and manner we've seen you have just explained.
All right, we have a caller, Victor from Plateau. Hi, Victor. Welcome aboard.
Yes, my name is Plateau. Is it Mr. Yaro?
He's not a young man.
Hello?
Yaro is not a young
I just said Mr. Yaro is a young man.
Okay. See, I don't know really the Yaro man plan to defend on the police because really all over the country, everybody knows that this is very corrupt. So in that aspect, was like trying to defend the police. I think it is not. Many things normally happen. There, even the issue of that of police dismissal and the will later see him working in other places. It is happening in several places.
Okay, so I still can't get what exactly your question or contribution is. When you've gathered your thoughts, you can come back. Hello, Kelly from Rumosi.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Victor has gone, sir. We have another person on the line.
Okay.
Hello, Kelly.
Thank you.
From Rumosi.
Yeah.
I want to add my voice to the topic you are discussing. Those police officers, dismissal will not be enough for them. We know so many civilians, so plantain, goats. Police will arrest. We know it's hunger, lead those civilians to stealing, charge to court. Some of them are agreeing as talking. Dismissal is not enough. We should add other punishment to it so that those ones are always on the road looking for working like half zero will change. I want to ask exactly a question. How many months or how was the duration after the duration of motor people the driver has the day to drive the vehicle? Hello.
Okay, Kelly, thank you very much. Mr. Yaro, did you get the question?
Well, I've not really, because I have not really understood the question. Maybe I can come down to my level so that my comprehension can be better.
Okay, so he actually he's asking how long can a driver still drive his car when his papers have expired before police can now arrest him or whatever?
Expiration of papers. There's no lacuna, no free period. The paper expires and when you can be interdicted for expired papers. If you are having vehicular particulars, you must always be on the watch. It's always updated on your windscreen. As a starting you move every day, you play your windscreen, you see your particulars engraved or pasted on your vehicle. If the papers are expiring in March 2024, you are supposed to know, except you are physically blind. Even if you are physically blind, you have people who assist you for the papers to be renewed before the expiration of the date. If your paper expired yesterday and you are found on the road today, you are liable to arrest. So we must be very, very clear of it. And this issue of expiration of paper and the period of arrest doesn't exist at all.
Okay, so the first thing he said before he asked that question was, he said there are so many people who just, they stole things that were actually food items. It's clear that it's hunger that drove them to go and steal. But then we have these people arrested. Some of them are even still awaiting trial in the prison. And then we have police officers who now have some level of misconduct, and you're saying some can only just be dismissed. He's saying that they should all still be sent jail.
That is, the one has spoken with his understanding of the law. The Nigerian police did not have faith.
Yes. May I ask your guest, ma, you're supposed to they have the legal, it is indirectly on them that they can get money as they go out to flavors. So I want to know from you, who pays the budget of police van? Or are they legally allowed to collect a subsidy on the road to fuel the car or vans?
Okay, thank you for your question, Mr. Michael. Before you answer him, let's hear from Adamu. Okay, Adamu is no longer there. Adamu, you can clap. All right, Mr. Yaro, I'm sure you heard him.
Who fuels police vehicle?
Yes. Is it the civilian that's come to report a matter that should bring money for fuel?
Yes, police vehicles are statutory fueled by the Nigerian government through the Nigerian police authorities and state. I repeat, police vehicles are fueled by the federal government in Nigeria through the Nigerian police authorities, and the fueling is supervised by state government.
So in a case where they, I heard one recently where they went to report a matter and then by the time they got to the station, they were told we need so amount of money to fuel our car before we can come over to arrest the person.
That officially is wrong. That legally is wrong. And those kind of situations, we don't condone it.
So what can a civilian in that kind of situation? Because this particular case I'm telling you about, they ended up going to meet the suspects in a taxi.
They report the higher authority. The police system is organized in areas. At the point when you report, you may be surprised that when you are reporting it, it will be lower than the DPO's police level. Or when you are reporting it, it will be lower than the police level, like command police level, or the lower than the commissioner of police at this level. So every point you made your report, get some of these kind of subversive and unlawful reactions, you report to the next higher authority, and they will actually listen to you and they will correct their anomalies.
All right. Let's hear from Chris then. Hello, Chris from Port Harcourt. Chris, you're on air. Hello. All right, Real Gift, you're up now. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Now, I have a few questions to draw my own picture. One is this. If those police officers took these persons from a different location, drove down to 2 other locations, we dropped off and expect money from them, how come we're only hearing about extortion and kidnapping is not that serious? Because I think when you possibly take somebody from a place to somewhere else without the person's consent, I think that is amount to kidnapping. Now, does the police for police officers when in cases like this that we perceive to be or I perceive to kidnapping. And if you talk about the issue of identification, now since you identify yourself properly, but also be pushed. If you have persons to call, you want to, when you know that somebody will call, they will want to make sure you squeeze something out of even if it's excuse. You understand my point, my lady? That is for the officer. And finally, I want to do that dismissal is lost. This suicide and health of community employees. This now have dismissed from the security force. So for me, I think dismissal is prosecuted completely to do time for their crime also. Thank you very much, my lady.
All right, thank you very much, Will Give. Well, that's the last call between. All right, over to you now, Mr. Yaro.
Well, the position of the last speaker has been noted and discussed in the previous contribution we talked about some minutes back. Dismissal of actions.
Yes, the other two questions he asked that I would like you to respond to.
That.
So he's asking if a police officer or if policemen in a van carry someone from position or from one location to another location and extort some amount of money from them, how come it's only what's it called now, extortion that they are accused of? How about kidnapping? Because if you move someone from a location to another without their consent and there's nothing they can do about it, does that not amount to kidnapping? That's what he's asking.
I want us to have a better understanding, the broader intention of concepts. And the broader understanding of concepts is as follows. When a law enforcement officer or a public officer touches you and moves you from one location to the other, in the process of doing his job, even if he's doing that job wrongly, that do not fall within the legally admissible definition of kidnapping. What you express in that process is a kind of infractions arising from the wrong use of their schedule of their power. It's different from kidnapping. And that is why in some of those charges or situations, kidnapping has not been evident. But in this particular case, I am not proof the charges available.
All right.
Except the legal department of SCID. So I cannot say in this particular case whether the movement of that person through certain
Okay, please hold on. We have commercials coming up, please.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
A giant of Accra once said, life is good in stream, so we did it for you. The Soft Life Queen.